Welcome to the Fun Astrology Podcast. Boom, it's Wednesday, June 25th. Kristin and Thomas here, and we're going to talk about today's chart before we talk about our Great Pyramid chart. So, Kristin, we have a new moon today here at 4 degrees Cancer. This is set to, now, you know, I've been liking to set the chart to the 0 Aries, so we look at this in natural zodiacal order. And we're talking about something that's affecting the 4th house in that area. And we have a sun-moon conjunction at 4 degrees Cancer. Obviously, a lot of stuff going on. My eye falls to this yod because I just love picking those little things out. And it's a spicy one because Mars, and we're going to talk about Mars in just a minute, but also Pluto, which we've got some Great Pyramid stuff going on with this new moon. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, that yod is a great point. And I think with Mars and the new moon being at the base of that is such a powerful transformation, you know, having that Pluto at the top, but as well as Mars being ruled by Mercury in Cancer, again, it leads us back to the moon.
And the whole theme, obviously, of new moons is to create. And as we're talking about the Great Pyramid, we're going to show it in the chart here in just a second with Aries at the rising sign. So it's kind of like what we're dealing with here. These are positive aspects. So we are talking about creative power here.
Yeah, definitely. So much creative power. I think with that new moon being so close to that exalted Jupiter, I mean, we are so close to having that expansiveness to this creation energy. This is a powerful one to work with.
So this is why I'm thinking on the high timeline path, don't listen to the noise out there. And you can see why exactly on that chart. Now, we've asked for you to send us some of your charts that we can put the Great Pyramid over. If you're listening on audio, this might be a little bit better on video. You can come over to the Fun Astrology YouTube channel. We'd love to have you over there. And we're going to fill in the Great Pyramid here as we've been doing. So really, we're kind of splitting. Right in there is Aries. So that's Saturn and Neptune right here at the peak of the pyramid. And then over here, right about there, will be Pluto in Aquarius. And then right over about here will be Uranus when it moves into Gemini. So there on this Aries rising sign chart with a late degree, 26, there's the pyramid. But Kristin, we have for this chart, now see, it's affecting these same things. We've seen this before. Here's the career area. Here is the endings, completions, wrap-ups, confinements, the 12th house. And then here is the second half. Kind of looks like the Taurus chart, doesn't it? Because we have this late rising sign.
Very similar, but this chart has a lot of planets being activated in this series of aspects. And especially what a powerful placement to have this first house ruled, granted in the 12th, but I think that that shows the powerful unconscious things that they'll be learning in the next 6 years.
Yeah, that's true. So she's talking about basically that space right there as Saturn and Neptune start to move across there. We have an Aries rising, so we have Mars ruling this chart, and that's at 27 degrees Capricorn. Pluto is on its way back to 0 Aquarius. It's going to affect that Jupiter as well, and this whole thing is in the quote-unquote career area, but also thinking about the 10th house as how we shine out into the world. I'm seeing some transformation coming up for this person.
Definitely. With the natural kite that this chart is creating with that 3-degree Libra Pluto, there is so much transformation to be had in this next 6 years.
And look, it's one of the most positive aspects in astrology. So yes,
Mhm.
transformation of this nature involves tearing some things down so we can build things up. That's what's happening up here in the 10th, and it's also what's happening here in the 6th. Self-integration, putting all the pieces together after we've had a few years to figure it out. Then we're talking about positive transformations, and yet rebuilding things is a dusty, dirty project.
I would say to this person that the themes of the fourth and fifth house are going to be very prominent, with the fact that the fifth house is Leo ruled, but with the late degree, it's also very much activating the fourth house. I think with knowing that creative energy and children and the home are going to be big things that get transformed, and where that energy is really going to put forth the most positive.
You know, another one that has a lot of blue lines coming off of it is Neptune. And of course, Neptune in Sagittarius, a fire sign, is going to eventually be in a trine when Neptune gets going a little bit here in Aries. So that's going to be another positive.
Yeah, definitely. And it'll even have a little bit of a preface to that when Saturn reaches that seventh degree and they start seeing like some of the stability and the foundations of some of the spirituality that they've been studying.
And you know, this is interesting on this chart because a lot of people I'm hearing, and myself included, very much so, feeling the confusion side of Neptune right now.
Mm,
So with
mhm.
Neptune over here, let's go back, remember where it is. It's right in this area right here, and it's going to be there for a while. So this is hitting this person's sun, which on that shadow side, the confusion, or maybe it's even just a whoa, wait, hold, don't do anything right now. Things will be more clear. For this person, what I could see is once it moves into that position, it's going to grow over the next, well, as you said, about half of 15 years, 7 years or so, that this person is going to get more clarity of the actions, Aries, that they're supposed to be taking. So it would be just if you're not clear now, tread water. Like somebody threw you in the deep end of the swimming pool and you're like a dog out there just treading water and you're kind of panting and it's like, oh, I wish I could get over to the side. But just hold on because there's a life ring coming and you want to be sure to have the energy when it arrives to know what to do with it. I think that's a good
Hmm.
example.
Such a good point. Yeah, definitely.
Well, this is awesome. And see, this is how, for you Aries rising folks, draw the pyramid in. You might have an early rising degree. Well, that just shifts things a little bit. So you'll have less of the 12th house, more of the first, less of the 10th, etc. And then start to just do what we did here. The exercise is to find out how other planets in your chart are related to these 3 points. This is a wonderful exercise so that you can see how this plays out in your own chart. And we've done a couple of things to help you find your rising sign easier. Number one, we've put all of these into a playlist on the YouTube channel. It's under Great Pyramid Playlist, and you'll be able to find it more easily there. And we also changed the thumbnails so that the rising sign is on each thumbnail. Just make it a little easier for you to find your rising sign.
Watch out next week for our next episode where we go through another natal chart. I will be back with you guys tomorrow. Much love.
Talk soon.